In today's video, I'm going to take you step by step through the process of starting a 500 chicken farm from scratch. The first and most important decision is choosing the type of chicken you want to raise. You have several options, including layers, broilers, local breeds, and dual-purpose chickens. Each type has its own advantages, and the choice depends on your market, the amount of capital you have, and the conditions in your area. If you choose layers, they are relatively high in price per chick and are raised primarily for egg production. The initial cost of 500 layers is higher than that of local chickens, but generally lower than some dual-purpose breeds, especially those raised in a deep litter system. However, dual-purpose chickens can be cheaper if reared in semi-free range or free-range systems. Layers take longer to start generating income because they usually begin laying eggs around 18 weeks. This means your return on investment is slower, but once they start laying, they provide a steady and long-term source of income which can continue for 80 weeks or more. Broilers, on the other hand, are raised for meat, and their chicks are usually cheaper than layers. Although they grow very quickly, they consume more feed in a short period, which increases the initial running cost. Broilers can be ready for market in just 6 to 8 weeks, meaning your capital is returned much faster compared to layers, allowing you to reinvest sooner. However, it is important to have a ready market before starting broilers. With 500 broilers, you could complete multiple production cycles in the same time it takes layers to reach full egg production. The trade-off is that broilers provide income in short bursts rather than a continuous flow, so careful planning is needed to maintain consistent profit. Local breeds are the cheapest to purchase and very resilient, making them easier to manage, but they grow more slowly and their production is lower, which means profits take longer to come in. Dual-purpose chickens offer a balance between meat and eggs, but they are not as efficient in either, so they require careful management. When choosing the type of chicken, it is important to consider not just the cost of buying the chicks, but also their feed requirements, the space and labor needed, and how quickly you can expect returns. Layers are best suited for a steady, long-term income from eggs, while broilers are ideal for quick turnover and faster recovery of your capital. Once you know the type of chicken, the next step is to plan your poultry house. For 500 layers, you will need a house of approximately 85 to 100 square meters. The land does not need to be large. A plot of 50 by 50 meters is usually sufficient. Within that space, a house measuring 14 meters in length and 7 meters in width can comfortably accommodate the birds while leaving room for future expansion. Planning ahead is important because as your farm grows, you may want to add more chickens or facilities, and having extra space will make that easier. The next step is to build a house that will protect and provide comfort for your birds. It is important to understand that a poultry house does not have to be expensive to be effective. What matters most is the well-being of your chickens. The house should provide enough space, proper ventilation, and protection from rain, predators, and thieves. If you do not have enough capital, you can build a low-cost house using materials that are readily available. Old iron sheets can be used for the roof, while timber or offcuts can be used for the walls. On top of the walls, you can install wire mesh and a layer of chain link to allow airflow while keeping the chickens safe. The floor can simply be compacted soil, which is not durable but can help. A well-built temporary house like this can last up to 10 years if maintained properly. If you have more capital, you can invest in a permanent house, which can last over 20 years. However, it is important to avoid spending too much money on a fancy house and then failing to buy chicks, feed, or vaccines. Many beginners make this mistake, and it often results in poor production and losses. The key principle to remember is that your chickens' comfort and protection are far more important than the appearance of the house. A simple house that meets the basic standards is much better than a fancy structure that leaves you short on resources for proper care. By focusing on ventilation, space, and security, you can provide a safe and productive environment for your birds while keeping your costs manageable. After your poultry house is ready, the next step is to equip it with the necessary tools and equipment that will help your chickens grow healthy and productive. For 500 chickens, you will need feeders, drinkers, and nesting boxes. You should have 20 feeders and 10 drinkers. For day-old chicks, start with small feeders and drinkers, then gradually switch to larger ones as the chickens grow. Nesting boxes are also essential for layers, and you will need between 100 and 125 boxes. These should be installed when your layers are about 16 weeks old, just as they prepare to start laying eggs. In addition to feeders, drinkers, and nesting boxes, there are other tools that are crucial for the health and hygiene of your farm. A sprayer will help you disinfect the poultry house, while a foot bath at the entrance will reduce the risk of disease entering the house. You should also have disinfectants, glucose, and vitamins. These are especially important during stressful periods, such as when chicks first arrive at the farm or during vaccination. Vaccines should be given according to the schedule recommended by your hatchery, ensuring that the birds are protected from common diseases. A well-equipped house reduces stress on the birds and prevents disease outbreaks, which directly affects their growth and egg production. Feeding and proper management are the heart of a successful poultry farm. For 500 chickens, you will need about 3,480 kilograms of feed from day-old chicks up to 18 weeks when they begin laying eggs. This is roughly 35 bags of 100 kilograms each. Start with small amounts of feed for day-old chicks and gradually increase the quantity as they grow. Using a feed calculator can help you plan exactly how much feed your birds need per day, per week, and per month throughout the entire cycle. Providing feed alone is not enough. You must also ensure that your chickens have clean water at all times and that they receive vaccines according to the hatchery schedule. Protecting them from harsh weather, predators, and thieves is also critical. Regular observation of their health and behavior will help you catch problems early and maintain productivity. To reduce feed costs and increase your profit, you can consider using locally mixed feed. However, mixing feed alone will not guarantee savings unless you approach it wisely. One key strategy is to buy feed ingredients when prices are low, especially during harvest season. Maize forms the largest portion of a complete feed, so purchasing it in bulk when the price is low significantly reduces overall feed costs. Soybeans provide the main source of protein and can be expensive, so it is best to buy them during harvest as well. By combining proper feeding, careful observation, and smart purchasing, you can keep your chickens healthy while maximizing your profits. Once you have set up your poultry house, equipped it properly, and managed your chickens well, the next consideration is the potential profit. Using commercial feed prices in my locality, a farm with 500 chickens can generate an estimated net profit of 22,800,000 Uganda shillings, which is around $6,300 over a period of 80 weeks. This represents a profit margin of approximately 38%. If you choose to use locally mixed feed, like I do, the net profit can increase significantly to 45 million Uganda shillings, which is about $12,500 over the same period. This higher profit is achieved by reducing feed costs, but it requires careful planning. Buying feed ingredients such as maize and soya beans in bulk during harvest season helps to lower the total cost. Even with locally mixed feed, success depends on proper feeding, vaccination, and general management of the chickens. Starting a poultry farm can be difficult at first, but with good planning and careful daily management, even beginners can start small and grow over time. Choosing the right type of chicken, building a safe and well-ventilated house, getting the basic equipment, feeding the chickens well, and making smart choices about feed can all help you run a profitable farm. I have added a link in the description where you can download my Pro Planner and feed calculators. These will help you estimate your own costs and profits based on your local prices. Now that you know the basics, watch the next video on the screen to see the step-by-step guide for your next action. If you found this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more poultry farming tips.